This is Max and Mia podcast.
Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Max and Mia podcast.
Hello, everyone. It's so wonderful to have you here with us today. How's everyone doing?
We're absolutely thrilled you've decided to spend some time with us. Whether you're listening during your morning coffee, on your way to work, or just relaxing at home, we're grateful you're here.
You know what, Max? I love seeing how our community keeps growing. Every single day, people from all around the world are choosing to improve their English. And that's just amazing.
Absolutely. And hey, if you're feeling a bit nervous about speaking English, or maybe you think it's too challenging, don't worry. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. The fact that you're here, listening and learning, means you're already on the right path.
That's so true. Learning a language isn't just about grammar rules and vocabulary lists. It's about connecting with people, sharing stories, and opening doors to new opportunities.
Speaking of connecting with people, Mia, what's today's episode all about?
Oh, this is going to be fantastic. Today we're diving into something super practical and useful. Small talk. You know, those casual conversations we have every day.
Exactly. We've prepared 50 amazing small talk phrases that you can use in real-life situations. These aren't complicated or fancy expressions. They're the kind of things native speakers actually say.
Whether you're chatting with a colleague at work, making conversation with a neighbor, or meeting someone new at a party, these phrases will help you feel more confident and natural.
So grab your notebook, get comfortable, and let's explore the wonderful world of everyday English conversation together.
Before we jump in, here's a quick tip for all our listeners. Don't just listen passively. We want you to repeat these phrases out loud. The more you do it, the better you get, right?
Absolutely. Speaking practice is crucial for building confidence. So find a quiet spot and let's practice together. Your speaking skills will thank you later.
All right, Max, let's kick things off with the first batch.
Here we go with phrase number 1. How's it going? Let me say that again. How's it going? This is a friendly, casual way to ask someone how they're doing. It's actually more relaxed than, how are you? And shows you want to have a real conversation, not just exchange polite greetings. You can use this with coworkers, friends, or even people you don't know very well.
So imagine you bump into a coworker in the hallway. Instead of just saying, hello, you can say, hey, Sarah, how's it going? It's much more engaging and shows you actually care about their day.
Love that example. Moving on to number 2. What's up? Once more. What's up? This is super informal and basically means what's happening or how are you? But here's the thing. It's much more casual than other greetings. You wouldn't use this with your boss or informal situations, but it's perfect for friends, family, or people your age.
Right. This one's great for friends or people you know well. Picture this. Your neighbor is working in their garden and you walk by. You can wave and say, hey, Tom, what's up? It's relaxed and friendly.
Nice one. Number 3. Long time no see. Again, long time no see. We use this when we haven't seen someone in a while. It's an idiom that expresses surprise and happiness about meeting someone after a long period. The great thing is that it immediately acknowledges the time gap and shows you're genuinely pleased to see them again.
Oh, this brings back memories. Let's say you run into an old classmate at the grocery store. You'd say, oh my goodness, long time no see. How have you been? It instantly breaks the ice and shows you're happy to see them.
Exactly. Here's number 4. What have you been up to? Let me repeat. What have you been up to? This asks about what someone has been doing recently. It's more interesting than just, "How are you?" because it invites them to share specific activities, projects, or experiences. It shows you're genuinely curious about their life and want to hear their stories.
This is brilliant for catching up. Imagine you meet a friend you haven't seen in a few weeks. After saying hello, you can ask, "So, what have you been up to lately?" It opens the door for them to share what's new in their life.
Great explanation. Number 5. How was your weekend? One more time. How was your weekend? This is a classic Monday morning conversation starter. It's fantastic because weekends are usually when people do fun things, relax, or spend time with family. People love sharing their weekend experiences, and it's a safe topic that almost everyone can relate to.
Oh, this is gold for office small talk. Picture Monday morning at work. You're getting coffee and your colleague walks in. You can say, "Morning. How was your weekend?" Everyone loves talking about their weekend adventures.
So true. Let's continue with number 6. Nice weather we're having. Again, nice weather we're having. This is probably the most universal small talk topic ever. Weather affects everyone, so it's a safe conversation starter that works in any situation. Plus, it's neutral. You're not getting into personal topics, which makes it perfect for breaking the ice with strangers or acquaintances.
Weather talk is everywhere. You're waiting for the elevator and someone joins you. Instead of awkward silence, you can say, "Nice weather we're having. Ideal for a walk."
Brilliant. Number 7. How's work treating you? Let me say it again. How's work treating you? This is a caring way to ask about someone's job situation. The phrase "treating you" is key here. It's not just asking about their work, but about how they feel about their job. It shows empathy and genuine interest in their well-being, not just their professional activities.
This shows genuine interest. Maybe you're at a neighborhood barbecue and chatting with someone. You can ask, "How's work treating you these days?" It's more personal than just "How's work?" and shows you care about their well-being.
Fantastic. Here's number 8. What brings you here? Once more. What brings you here? This is perfect for starting conversations in new places. It's a polite way to ask why someone is in the same location as you. It works because it shows curiosity about their reason for being there, which often leads to interesting stories or shared interests.
Such a useful one. Think about being at a bookstore, and you notice someone browsing the same section as you. You could say, "Great selection here." What brings you to the history section? It's a natural conversation opener.
Excellent example. Number 9. How do you know? Again, how do you know? This is ideal for parties or social gatherings. It helps you understand connections and relationships, which is crucial for building rapport. People love sharing how they met someone, and these stories often reveal common interests or experiences you might share too.
Party conversations made easy. You're at a friend's birthday party and you meet someone new. You can ask, "How do you know Jessica?" It helps you understand the connection and often leads to interesting stories.
Perfect. And our final phrase for this first set. What are your plans for the weekend? Let me repeat. What are your plans for the weekend? This is great for Thursday or Friday conversations. It's forward-looking and positive, focusing on things people are excited about. It also gives you insights into their interests and hobbies, which can lead to deeper conversations about shared activities.
End of week vibes. You're chatting with a coworker on Friday afternoon, and you can ask, "Any exciting plans for the weekend?" People love sharing what they're looking forward to. And it might even give you ideas for your own weekend.
Wow, those first 10 were fantastic. Now it's Mia's turn to share her favorite small talk phrases. Take it away, Mia.
Thanks, Max. I'm excited to share these with everyone. Here we go with phrase number 11. That's such a cute. Let me say that again. That's such a cute. This is a wonderful compliment starter that works in so many situations. It's genuine, positive, and immediately makes people feel good about something they own or care about. You can use it with anything. Someone's phone case, their dog, their coffee mug, even their car.
I love this one. Picture yourself at a coffee shop and you notice someone has a really unique laptop sticker. You could say, "That's such a cute sticker. Where did you get it?" It's a natural way to start a conversation, and people love talking about things they've chosen.
Exactly. Number 12. I love your. Again. I love your. This is more direct than cute and shows you have good taste in noticing style. Compliments about appearance should be about choices people make, like their clothes, accessories, or hairstyle, not things they can't control. It's a confidence booster, and people appreciate when others notice their style efforts.
Such a thoughtful approach. Imagine you're at work and your colleague got a new haircut. You could say, "I love your new hairstyle. It looks amazing on you." It shows you pay attention and care about the people around you.
Perfect example. Here's number 13. You seem like you'd be great at. Let me repeat. You seem like you'd be great at. This is a unique way to give someone a compliment while also learning about their interests. It's based on observation and intuition, which makes it feel more personal and thoughtful than generic compliments. Plus, it often leads to discovering hidden talents or shared hobbies.
That's so insightful. Maybe you're watching someone organize their desk very efficiently and you say, "You seem like you'd be great at interior design. You have such an eye for organization." It's a conversation starter that could reveal interesting aspects of their personality.
I love that. Number 14. What's your take on? Once more. What's your take on? This phrase shows you value someone's opinion and want to hear their perspective. It's much more engaging than just making statements, and it works for everything from asking about a new restaurant in town to getting someone's thoughts on a movie or book. It makes the other person feel heard and respected.
Brilliant. You could be at a book club and say, "What's your take on the main character? I found her really complex." It invites deeper discussion and shows you're genuinely interested in their thoughts.
Exactly. Let's continue with number 15. I'm curious about your experience with. Again, I'm curious about your experience with. This is a sophisticated way to ask for advice or stories without being too direct. The word curious makes it feel less like you're asking for help and more like you're genuinely interested in learning from them. It's perfect for professional or personal topics.
Such a professional touch. Imagine you're thinking about trying yoga, and you meet someone who looks very zen and flexible. You could say, "I'm curious about your experience with yoga. How did you get started?" It's a respectful way to gather information while showing genuine interest.
Great example. Number 16. That reminds me of. Let me say it again. That reminds me of. This is a fantastic way to build connections and show you're actively listening. When someone shares something, relating it to your own experience creates a bond and keeps the conversation flowing naturally. It shows empathy and shared understanding.
Connection building at its finest. If someone mentions they went hiking last weekend, you could say, "That reminds me of my first hiking experience in the mountains. I was so unprepared, but had the best time." It creates a shared moment and invites them to ask about your story too.
Absolutely. Number 18. You have such good energy. Again, you have such good energy. This is a unique compliment that focuses on how someone makes you feel rather than how they look. It's about their vibe, their positivity, their way of being in the world. It's deeply personal and meaningful because it acknowledges the impact they have on others around them.
Smart strategy. Maybe someone mentions they love rock climbing and you say, "I've been meaning to try rock climbing." Is it as challenging as it looks? It shows openness to their interests and might lead to them offering to take you or recommend a good place to start.
Absolutely. Number 18. You have such good energy. Again, you have such good energy. This is a unique compliment that focuses on how someone makes you feel rather than how they look. It's about their vibe, their positivity, their way of being in the world. It's deeply personal and meaningful because it acknowledges the impact they have on others around them.
What a beautiful compliment. Picture meeting someone new at a party who's been making everyone laugh and feel comfortable. You could say, "You have such good energy. You've made this whole group feel so welcome." It's the kind of compliment that really stays with people.
Now, let's move on to number 19. What's been the highlight of your week? Let me repeat. What's been the highlight of your week? This is much more interesting than asking about their whole week. It focuses on positive moments and gives people a chance to share something they're excited or happy about. It's uplifting and shows you want to hear about the good things in their life.
Love the positive focus. You could be chatting with a coworker on Wednesday and ask, "What's been the highlight of your week so far?" It's a great way to discover what makes them happy and might reveal shared interests or values.
Exactly. And our final phrase for this set, number 20. I'd love to hear more about. Once more. I'd love to hear more about. This shows you're genuinely interested in what they're saying and want to go deeper. It's a way to turn small talk into meaningful conversation. It makes people feel valued and heard, which is the foundation of good relationships.
Such a thoughtful way to deepen connections. If someone briefly mentions they're learning to paint, you could say, "I'd love to hear more about your painting journey. What inspired you to start?" It shows you're not just making polite conversation. You actually care about their passions and experiences.
Those were amazing, Max. Your turn again. I can't wait to hear what you've got for us next.
Thanks, Mia. I'm excited to share these next 10. Here we go with phrase number 21. How do you manage to? Let me say that again. How do you manage to? This is a brilliant way to ask for advice while giving someone a compliment at the same time. It acknowledges their expertise and shows you respect their abilities. The word manage implies it's something challenging, which makes them feel accomplished and valued for their skills.
Such a clever approach. Imagine you notice your neighbor always has the most beautiful garden. You could say, "How do you manage to keep your garden looking so amazing?" "Mine always looks like a jungle." It's asking for help while making them feel proud of their achievement.
Perfect example. Number 22. I'm impressed by. Once more, I'm impressed by. This is more powerful than just saying good job, because it shows you actually paid attention to the details. Being specific makes compliments feel more genuine and meaningful. It demonstrates that you notice and appreciate the effort people put into things, which builds stronger relationships.
Attention to detail makes all the difference. Maybe a colleague just finished a presentation and you say, "I'm impressed by how clearly you explained those complex statistics. You made it so easy to understand." It shows you were actively listening and appreciate their communication skills.
Excellent. Here's number 23. What's your secret to? Again, what's your secret to? This phrase is fantastic because it makes the other person feel like they have special knowledge or wisdom worth sharing. Everyone likes feeling like an expert, and asking about their secret makes it feel more intimate and personal than just asking for general advice.
People love sharing their secrets. You could be at the gym and notice someone who's clearly very fit. You might say, "What's your secret to staying so motivated? I struggle with consistency." It's a way to learn while making them feel like they have valuable insights to share.
Great insight. Number 24. That sounds fascinating. Tell me more. Let me repeat. That sounds fascinating. Tell me more. This is a conversation supercharger. It shows genuine curiosity and encourages people to share more details about topics they're passionate about. The word fascinating is stronger than interesting and makes people feel like their stories and experiences are truly captivating.
Such an enthusiasm booster. Picture someone mentioning they just got back from a pottery class. You could say, "That sounds fascinating. Tell me more about what you're learning to make." It transforms a brief mention into a full conversation about their new hobby.
Love it. Number 25. I never thought about it that way. Once more. I never thought about it that way. This phrase is gold because it shows you're open-minded and willing to consider new perspectives. It makes the other person feel intelligent and valued for their unique viewpoint. It's also a great way to keep conversations going when someone shares an opinion or idea that's different from yours.
Open-mindedness in action. Maybe you're discussing different approaches to work-life balance, and someone shares their strategy. You could respond, "I never thought about it that way. That's actually a really smart approach." It validates their thinking and shows you're genuinely considering their perspective.
Brilliant example. Here's number 26. You're so good at. Again, you're so good at. This is more impactful than generic compliments because it identifies a particular strength someone has. It shows you've been observing and appreciating their abilities. People remember specific compliments much longer than general ones, and it can even help them recognize talents they might not have fully appreciated in themselves.
Specificity makes compliments memorable. You could be at a dinner party and notice how someone effortlessly keeps everyone engaged in conversation. You might say, "You're so good at bringing people together. Everyone feels included when you're around." It's a compliment that recognizes their social skills and makes them feel valued.
Perfect. Number 27. I'm really curious about. Let me say it again. I'm really curious about. This phrase shows genuine interest and creates a safe space for people to share. The word curious is non-threatening and doesn't pressure them to teach or explain everything. It simply shows you find their knowledge or experience worth learning about.
Curiosity opens doors. Maybe you meet someone who mentions they work in sustainable agriculture. You could say, "I'm really curious about sustainable farming. What got you interested in that field?" It's a way to learn about their passion while showing respect for their expertise.
Excellent approach. Number 28. That takes real skill, talent, or courage. Once more, that takes real skill, talent, or courage. This acknowledges the difficulty or challenge involved in something someone has done. It shows you understand that their achievement wasn't easy and that you respect the effort or bravery it required. It's a way to validate their experience and make them feel proud of their accomplishments.
Recognition of effort means everything. If someone mentions they gave a speech at work despite being nervous about public speaking, you could say, "That takes real courage. I bet you felt amazing afterward." It acknowledges both the challenge and their success in overcoming it.
So true. Number 29. What's been keeping you busy lately? Again, what's been keeping you busy lately? This is a more engaging alternative to "How are you?" because it invites people to share what's currently occupying their time and energy. It's open-ended enough to let them choose what they want to talk about: work, hobbies, family, or personal projects. It shows you're interested in their current life situation.
Such a versatile conversation starter. You could run into a friend at the grocery store and ask, "What's been keeping you busy lately?" They might talk about a new job, a home renovation project, or even a new Netflix series they're binge-watching. It gives them freedom to share what's on their mind.
Perfect. And our final phrase for this set, number 30. I can see why you enjoy. Let me repeat. I can see why you enjoy. This shows you understand and appreciate someone's interests, even if they're different from your own. It validates their choices and shows you're trying to see things from their perspective. It's a way to connect with people whose hobbies or passions might be unfamiliar to you.
Understanding creates connection. Maybe someone is enthusiastically telling you about their weekend bird-watching trip. Even if you're not into birds, you could say, "I can see why you enjoy bird-watching." There's something really peaceful about connecting with nature like that. It shows you appreciate their passion and can find the value in it.
Those were incredible, Mia. Now, is your turn again. I know you've got some gems ready for us.
Thank you, Max. I'm thrilled to share these next 10. Here we go with phrase number 31. What's your story with? Let me say that again. What's your story with? This is such a beautiful way to invite someone to share their personal connection to something. Everyone has stories, and asking about their story makes it feel more personal and meaningful than just asking facts. It opens the door to memories, experiences, and emotions that create real connections.
Stories create bonds. Imagine you're at a coffee shop and notice someone reading a book about traveling through Europe. You could say, "What's your story with European travel? Have you been or are you planning a trip?" It invites them to share either their experiences or dreams, both of which are great conversation material.
Exactly. Number 32. I wish I had your confidence with. Once more. I wish I had your confidence with. This is a wonderful way to compliment someone while also showing vulnerability. It acknowledges their strength in a specific area and creates an opportunity for them to share advice or encouragement. It's honest and humble, which makes people feel both appreciated and needed.
Vulnerability builds trust. Maybe you're at a networking event and you notice someone who seems completely comfortable talking to strangers. You could say, "I wish I had your confidence with meeting new people. You make it look so natural." It's a compliment that might lead to them sharing their tips or even helping you feel more comfortable.
Great example. Here's number 33. That must have been quite an experience. Again, that must have been quite an experience. This phrase is incredibly versatile because it works for both positive and challenging situations. It shows empathy and understanding without making assumptions about how they felt. It gives them space to share as much or as little as they want about their experience.
Such thoughtful phrasing. If someone mentions they just moved to a new city, you could say, "That must have been quite an experience. How are you settling in?" It acknowledges that moving is significant without assuming it was good or bad, and opens the door for them to share their feelings about the change.
Exactly. Number 34. You seem like someone who would know about. Let me repeat. You seem like someone who would know about. This is a fantastic way to ask for information or advice while making someone feel knowledgeable and respected. It's based on your observation of their character or interests, which makes it feel more personal than just asking a random question.
Observation-based compliments are powerful. Picture yourself at a bookstore and you're looking for a good mystery novel. You notice someone browsing the same section who seems like a serious reader. You could say, "You seem like someone who would know about good mystery authors. Do you have any favorites?" It's a way to get recommendations while making them feel valued for their expertise.
I love that approach. Let's continue with number 35. What drew you to? Once more. What drew you to? This question goes deeper than asking what someone does. It asks about their motivation and passion. People love sharing the stories behind their choices, and these conversations often reveal values, dreams, and interesting life experiences that create meaningful connections.
Motivation stories are fascinating. Maybe you're at a party and meet someone who's a marine biologist. Instead of just asking what they do, you could say, "What drew you to marine biology? That seems like such a unique field." It invites them to share their passion and the journey that led them there.
Beautiful example. Number 36. I bet you have some great stories about. Again. I bet you have some great stories about. This phrase assumes the best, that their experiences have been interesting and worth sharing. It's encouraging and makes people feel like their life experiences are valuable. It also gives them permission to share fun or memorable moments without feeling like they're bragging.
Assumption of interesting experiences. If you meet someone who mentions they're a flight attendant, you could say, "I bet you have some great stories about traveling and meeting people from all over the world." It invites them to share the fun or memorable parts of their job without focusing on the challenges.
Awesome. Here's number 37. That's something I've always wondered about. Let me say it again. That's something I've always wondered about. This shows genuine curiosity and makes the other person feel like they have knowledge worth sharing. It's a way to learn about topics you're curious about, while making the other person feel like an expert. It creates a natural teaching moment that people usually enjoy.
Curiosity creates connection. Maybe someone mentions they work in forensic science, and you say, "That's something I've always wondered about. Is it anything like what we see in TV shows?" It shows genuine interest and gives them a chance to share the reality of their field, which people often love doing.
Such a great conversation starter. Number 38. You have a real talent for. Once more. You have a real talent for. This is stronger than just saying someone is good at something. The word talent implies it's a natural gift, which makes the compliment feel more special and meaningful. It recognizes something inherent in their abilities, rather than just their effort.
Natural talent recognition. Imagine you're at a dinner party and someone tells a story that has everyone laughing. You could say, "You have a real talent for storytelling. You had us all completely engaged." It's a compliment that recognizes their natural ability to connect with people through narrative.
Exactly. Number 39. What's the most interesting thing about? Again. What's the most interesting thing about? This question invites people to share what they find most fascinating about something they're involved in. It lets them choose the aspect they're most passionate about, which usually leads to enthusiastic and engaging conversations.
Passion-driven conversations are the best. If you meet someone who's a veterinarian, you could ask, "What's the most interesting thing about being a vet? I imagine every day is different." It gives them freedom to share what they find most rewarding, challenging, or surprising about their work.
And our final phrase for this set, number 40, I really admire people who... Let me repeat. I really admire people who... This is a powerful way to compliment someone based on their character or actions. It shows you recognize and value certain qualities, and it often makes people feel proud of choices they've made or values they hold. It's about who they are, not just what they do.
Character-based compliments last forever. Maybe you meet someone who volunteers at a local animal shelter. You could say, "I really admire people who volunteer their time to help animals. That shows such a caring heart." It recognizes their values and character, which is often more meaningful than compliments about skills or achievements.
Those were absolutely wonderful, Max. Now for the final set, your last 10 phrases to complete our collection of 50.
Thank you, Mia. I'm excited to finish strong with these last 10 gems. Here we go with phrase number 41. What's been your biggest surprise about? Let me say that again. What's been your biggest surprise about? This question is brilliant because it focuses on the unexpected aspects of someone's experience. People love sharing surprises because they're usually memorable and interesting. It also shows you understand that most things in life have unexpected elements that aren't obvious from the outside.
Surprises make the best stories. Maybe you're talking to someone who just became a parent for the first time. You could ask, "What's been your biggest surprise about parenthood so far?" It invites them to share something unexpected and personal, which often leads to really meaningful conversations about their journey.
Perfect example. Number 42. I can tell you really care about. Once more, I can tell you really care about. This is a beautiful way to acknowledge someone's passion or dedication. It shows you've been paying attention to their emotions and values, not just their words. When people feel seen and understood at this level, it creates a deep sense of connection and validation.
Emotional recognition is so powerful. Imagine a colleague is talking about a project they're working on, and you notice their eyes light up when they mention it. You could say, "I can tell you really care about this project. Your enthusiasm is infectious." It acknowledges their emotional investment and passion.
Exactly. Here's number 43. What would you recommend for someone just starting with? Again, what would you recommend for someone just starting with? This positions them as an expert while also showing you're interested in their field. People love giving advice and sharing their knowledge, especially when it might help someone avoid mistakes they made. It's a way to learn while making them feel valued for their experience.
Expert positioning works wonders. Maybe you meet someone who's really into photography, and you've been thinking about getting a better camera. You could say, "What would you recommend for someone just starting with photography?" I'm completely new, but really interested. It shows respect for their expertise and genuine interest in learning.
Great insight. Number 44. You make that look so easy. Let me repeat. You make that look so easy. This is a wonderful compliment that acknowledges skill while also showing humility. It recognizes that what they're doing requires talent and practice, even if they perform it effortlessly. It's a way to appreciate someone's mastery while also opening the door for them to share their learning process.
Skill recognition with humility. Picture watching someone at a cooking class who's chopping vegetables with perfect technique. You could say, "You make that look so easy. I'm still figuring out how to hold the knife properly." It's a compliment that might lead to them sharing tips or their own learning journey.
Love that example. Number 45. What's the most rewarding part of? Once more, what's the most rewarding part of? This question goes straight to the heart of why someone does what they do. It focuses on the positive aspects and allows them to share what brings them joy or satisfaction. People light up when they talk about what rewards them, and these conversations often reveal their core values and motivations.
Meaningful conversations can truly motivate us. Maybe you meet someone who teaches elementary school. You could ask, "What's the most rewarding part of teaching young children?" It gives them a chance to share those special moments that make their challenging job worthwhile.
Beautiful. Here's number 46. I've noticed you have a knack for. Again, I've noticed you have a knack for. This shows you've been observing and appreciating their abilities over time. The word knack implies natural talent, and saying "I've noticed" shows you've been paying attention. It's more meaningful than a one-time compliment because it suggests consistent observation and appreciation.
Consistent observation shows care. Maybe you've been in a few meetings with someone who always manages to bring conflicting groups together. You could say, "I've noticed you have a real knack for finding common ground. You're great at bringing people together." It shows you've been watching their skills in action over time.
Excellent. Number 47. That's a perspective I hadn't considered. Let me say it again. That's a perspective I hadn't considered. This phrase shows intellectual humility and openness to new ideas. It validates the other person's thinking while also demonstrating that you're willing to expand your own understanding. It encourages deeper discussion and makes the other person feel heard and valued for their unique viewpoint.
Intellectual openness builds respect. During a book club discussion, someone might offer an interpretation of a character that's different from yours. You could say, "That's a perspective I hadn't considered. It makes me think about that scene in a completely new way." It shows you're genuinely engaged and willing to learn from others.
Perfect. Number 48. What keeps you motivated with? Once more, what keeps you motivated with? This question acknowledges that what they're doing isn't always easy and shows respect for their perseverance. It invites them to share their inner drive and the reasons they keep going when things get tough. These conversations often reveal inspiring stories of determination and personal values.
Motivation stories are incredibly inspiring. Maybe you meet someone who's training for a marathon. You could ask, "What keeps you motivated during those long training runs?" "I can't imagine running for hours." It recognizes the struggle and encourages them to talk about what helps them get through tough times.
Inspiring indeed. Number 49. You seem to have found your passion. Again, you seem to have found your passion. This is a profound compliment that recognizes someone's alignment with their interests and values. It acknowledges that finding your passion isn't easy, and that they're fortunate to have discovered theirs. It often leads to conversations about their journey to finding what they love.
Passion recognition is deeply meaningful. Maybe you're talking to someone who left a corporate job to become a baker, and their eyes light up when they talk about their work. You could say, "You seem to have found your passion." There's something really beautiful about seeing someone doing what they love. It acknowledges their courage and fulfillment.
And finally, our 50th phrase. What advice would you give to your younger self about? Let me repeat. What advice would you give to your younger self about? This question is incredibly powerful because it invites reflection and wisdom sharing. It acknowledges their growth and experience while also creating space for them to share valuable insights. It's a way to learn from their journey while making them feel like a mentor.
Wisdom sharing creates deep connections. Maybe you're talking to someone who's been married for 20 years. You could ask, what advice would you give to your younger self about relationships? It invites them to share hard-earned wisdom and reflects on their personal growth journey.
And there we have it, everyone. 50 amazing small talk phrases that will transform your everyday conversations.
What an incredible collection! From simple greetings to deep, meaningful exchanges, these phrases will help you connect with people in authentic and engaging ways.
Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've shared today. These aren't just phrases to memorize. They're tools for building real connections with the people around you.
Exactly. The magic happens when you start using these naturally in your daily life. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being genuine and showing interest in others.
And here's our challenge for you. Choose 3 phrases from today's episode that really resonated with you. Practice them this week in real conversations. Notice how people respond when you show genuine curiosity and interest.
That's such a great idea. And don't worry if it feels awkward at first. Like any skill, small talk gets easier with practice. The more you use these phrases, the more natural they'll become.
Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the Max and Mia podcast if you haven't already. We're here every week with practical English tips that you can use immediately in your daily life.
And if today's episode helped you, please leave us a review or share it with someone who's also learning English. Your support helps us reach more people who want to improve their conversation skills.
Keep practicing, keep connecting, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. Your English journey is unique and valuable, and we're honored to be part of it.
Until next time, this is Mia.
And Max, reminding you that every conversation is a chance to grow. Take care, everyone.